Hey, what is going on, guys? Hes here. I wanted to bring you guys a video on my top 10 back to school sneakers from New Balance, but this also could just be like a top 10 lifestyle sneakers video for mid 2025. So let's go ahead and get in. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. This video is going to be sponsored by New Balance, but they don't dictate anything I say in the video. They don't dictate any of the items in the list. It's just my personal opinion, but it's a way that they can sponsor some of the content on my channel. And the best way you can show support for the channel is if you guys use the links in the description to make any of your purchases over on New Balance's website. Can't thank you guys enough for anybody that uses those links. Now, I did want to point out that for me personally, all the shoes that I'm going to be talking about in this video are going to be true to size. So whatever your true to size is what I would go with. I'm a 9.5 and I have 9.5s in every one of these shoes. But if you have a difference in opinion on any of the models, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section for everybody else. The number 10 spot goes to the New Balance 740 / the 530s. I put both of these in the same category because I like both of these mesh runners quite a bit. First off, the 530 was actually originally released in 1992 and the 740 was a 2000s runner. Both of them were actually running sneakers back when they were originally released. However, now they have been brought back slightly altered for modern day consumption. The 740s retail at a nice price point at $110. The 530s retail at $99.99, so even better price point, just right under $100. But the 740 has a lot of really good colorways available on New Balance's website. I'll link them again as well as everything else in the description of the video for those that are interested. So the number 9 spot is going to go to the New Balance 550. Now this model does retail at $110 now. You can get some of them on sale though in select colorways for as low as $85. But the 550 actually originally debuted in 1989, and it was actually a basketball sneaker upon its initial release. If you guys are familiar with ALD, Teddy Santis, he actually brought back the 550 from the archives, and since then it's been kind of a staple. It's been 5 years since that original inception, and I feel like this is a model that people are going to come back to full circle. It's just a modern day classic pair that I think deserves a spot on the countdown. So number 8 spot, we have the 471. The New Balance 471 retails at $99. But they do have a $110 colorway as well. But they also have a $75 colorway, which is kind of one of my favorite ones, to be honest. So there's a little bit of a range over on their website. Very sleek in design, a very like low profile. But this is actually another one of those runners that have been around for 50 years. So it was actually a 1970s runner originally. And back then it was a 320 model, but now they actually use that same last to create the 471. So right now, like sleek, low profile sneakers are kind of trending. I personally don't love the fit of them just because they're just a little bit too narrow for me usually, and I don't like the low profile. For my feet, it just doesn't really work very well, but I know it's super trendy and it's like something that's popular, and I really like the look of the model. It is very stylish and very sleek. So the number 7 spot for back to school for myself goes to the 480s. Now this is a $90 basketball sneaker that's turned into a casual shoe, and they have a numeric version as well for skate. I actually like the numeric versions a little bit better just because they tend to make them a little bit more sturdy. But overall, I think that it's a good looking model. And again, just another classic one that they brought back. It's fun to see like the rich heritage of New Balance because they've been around for so many years that they actually have quite a large Rolodex to jump into. Number 6 spot goes to another classic, the 574s. This is the most New Balance sneaker ever, as they put it. It's very identifiable, just the overall shape of the 574. There's nothing really quite like it except for the 576, which is like a super expensive version. I did a comparison between the 574 and the 576 if you want to Google it, because it was a pretty fun video to do. But the 574 is so iconic, so classic, and they have a bunch of different colorways. They're always available, and they update them through the season. They also have different versions of the 574s that release with like a little bit more of a trail version and so on. So they have a lot of variety and options, and they keep it fresh, usually for the 574s, which is why this is a strong contender and another one on the countdown. All right, so moving on to the number 5 spot. This is probably most people's favorite New Balance model that are newer to New Balance, and that is the 9060. It retails at $150, but you can get limited colorways on their website right now for $125. So not bad, nice that you can get a little bit of a discount. They got like at least 15 different colorways of the 9060s now, which is fantastic that you have a lot of different options in a lot of different colorways. Now the 9060 right here definitely has a cult following, and it's a really crazy pair that is just super chunky. The midsole is really chunky. It's segmented as well. But it's something that a lot of people gravitate towards. Like my babysitter has a pair of these. My wife's sister was a little bit older, has a pair of these. And so it seems to be more of the New Balance sneaker made for people that are not like sneaker people. But in the New Balance front, this is the one that they're gravitating towards in 2025 still. So I put them in the number 5 spot because of the popularity of the model. For me personally, I don't love the look of them as much as other models on this countdown, which is again why it's the number 5 spot. But they do look good on people, and it's definitely a pair that a lot of people really love. All right, number 4 spot goes to a newer model, but one that I gravitate towards quite a bit, and that is the New Balance 2010. Retails about $160, another 2000s era vibe with this shoe. It has an absorbed midsole as well, very large. I like that diamond knit mesh upper on the 2010s, and it definitely has some like chunky goodness to the model, not as chunky as the 9060s, but I think it's a fun blend of like a mesh runner and a chunky runner as well. The overall look of the shoe is nice. The absorbed midsole is what sold me though. It's a very comfortable shoe and definitely something that I enjoy wearing. Number 3 spot on the countdown goes to this model right here. This is the New Balance 1906. Now this one is like an offshoot of it. They have a bunch of different versions, but primarily I think the 1906R is probably the most standard pair that they have, which is like their running pair, but they have also a loafer pair. They have a utility pair, they have a suede pair, they have a distressed pair. So they have lots of different versions of the 1906. You can get select colorways available on New Balance's website for as low as $120 though. Again, link it in the description if you guys are interested. I just really love this model. I think it's such a good looking pair, and I love the overlays specifically of this one right here, but there's a bunch of different versions of the 1906 that I think look really, really good. I chose the 1906 over the 2002R, which is like the other pair that it looks very similar because the midsoles pretty much are exactly the same, which is funny because neither of the models have the original midsoles that they had when the original shoes came out. So currently they're both sitting on the 860 V2 midsole, which is a different model from New Balance. The 2002R was actually originally released in 2010, and it was a more expensive model at a $250 origin. The updated midsole with the 860 V2 was widely accepted and has tons of different collabs on that model, as well as a lot of great inline colorways. And the 1906 runner is actually a pair that originally came out in 2009. The funny thing is it's actually called the 1906, which is the year that New Balance actually took shape. The old midsole had a different look from 2009. The new midsole again from the 860 V2, but I think it's a really good midsole and it's comfortable, and it's nice that they're able to recycle and reuse some of the parts from different models, swap the tops and the bottoms, and just like create all sorts of fun different vibes with the 1906. Personally, I like the look of the 1906 a little bit better than the 2002s, but both of them are honestly good. The 2002s are a little bit cheaper at retail, usually now at $140. So if you're interested in that, again, I'll link them in the description. So moving on to the number 2 spot, we have this guy right here. So the New Balance 480 and the 993 had a baby. It would be this, the dad skate shoe from Andrew Reynolds, the 933. They retail at $130, which is a phenomenal price point for the craftsmanship and the quality that you get in this model. Now, I would say that these fit true to size. If you have the option, like I have a little bit of a wider foot, I would get the wide version instead of the standard. The standard one fits me, but the wide version just gives you that little extra width that I would love to just be able to wear them and have a little bit more comfort. The build quality in this $130 shoe is absolutely incredible. It is made for skating, but it's definitely something you can casual and wear and just be impressed by when you're wearing them. Now, it is firmer on feet than, let's say, like a pair of 992s or 993s, and the midsole is pretty flat because of the use for skating, but overall, if you want like a flat shoe not with like a lot of curvature and something that's firm underfoot and substantial but has really nice build quality, this is a really, really solid shoe. And they have a couple new colorways that I've been eyeing as well. The quality materials, I can't stress enough, is so good, and I love the fact that they took a play on of the dad shoe, like the 99Xs, the 993s or whatever, and then made it into the 933. You do have absorb in the midsole also, and some extra fused layers for extra reinforcement underneath the build, but it's an incredible pair and honestly worth a look from the skating perspective, but even just for the casual, highly recommend it. Personally, I think it's a great model. So we made it to the number 1 spot on the list. If you guys liked the video, drop a like in the video. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Again, if you guys use any of the links in the description, greatly appreciate anybody that does that. Number 1 spot for myself, though, is going to go to the New Balance 990 V6. This is like basically the best of the best of the New Balance line from the Made in the USA. It's the current model that they have for their flagship line for the 990s. And the 990 V6 has been out for like 3 years, which is crazy. It is a Made in the USA product, which I do appreciate. And they've had a bunch of different collabs with the 990 V6 as well, with Action Bronson and so on. It's a really, really good looking model in my opinion. They also have really excellent colorways that are inline that are not collabs that I think that are so good. So this is one of them that I just got. I'll have a review video of these pretty soon, talking about the 990 V6 and 5 reasons why it's a must cop in 2025. Make sure you subscribe and check out that video when you see it pop up in your feed. Hopefully you guys will see it. The other alternative that I wanted to give you guys though for the 990 V6, which is the most expensive option, unfortunately, but it's one that I can't not talk about. This is the 991 V2, and this pair is made in the UK. They do retail at $250, so obviously not everybody's cup of tea because of the price point, but I'm telling you guys, this is my favorite looking model from the 99X line that they actually have. I like it better even than the 990 V6s, so I wanted to throw it in as an alternative. Both of them are really good, but this one is a little bit more affordable at $200 instead of that $250. I get it, $200 is still a lot of money no matter which way you slice it. $250 is even more, but It's an incredible pair. The quality, craftsmanship's on point for both of the models, made in the USA, made in the UK. The comfort is there as well. They have like a timeless look, in my opinion. Overall, yes, it's an investment to spend 200 or 250 on a pair, but I think that once people get their first pair, in fact, leave a comment if you guys are one of those people that once you got your 991 V2 or your 990 V6, you're like, okay, yep, it was totally worth it. Rarely do I hear about people saying, nah, that was a terrible investment. It was a terrible buy for my feet, because overall, they're just tried and true amazing pairs. So that's why #1 spot for myself goes to these two right here. But hopefully I provided you guys a big enough list that you can find something that like resonates with you at your price point, hopefully in that $100 range or up to $200 range. Shout out to everybody going back to school. And again, this list could just be for casual consumption, not necessarily for back to school, but I did want to just kind of like tailor it in and give you guys a new list for 2025 mid-year. But anyway, thank you again for stopping by and watching. Have a good rest of the day. Hopefully we'll see you back on the channel for some more sneaker content soon. All right, peace guys.